welcome to the Prophecy Club. I'm going to give you some information today that may startle you as to just how close these now 106, 502,000 arrests, these sealed indictments, may just about be ready to be rounded up. So, first of all, before I bring you that startling information, in case you missed it, a brief review. So the first question comes up, why do the Democrats continue to try with all of their might to impeach Trump? Why do they not approve Trump's appointments? Are they threatening to hold AG Barr in contempt for not releasing the unredacted Mueller report? Why are all these attacks? Here's a hint. The answer to all this boils down to the same reason. All of these attacks on Trump boil down to the same reason. More questions. Why are the Democrats openly calling for impeaching Trump? Why is it that Nancy Pelosi, the number 3 in command in the United States, says she doesn't want to impeach Trump? She wants to put him in prison. Why do the Democrats attack Trump unmercifully? Why do they leak documents in an attempt to make him look bad or worse? It's all the same answer. Why are the Democrats demanding the full unredacted Mueller report be released when they have not even looked at it themselves? Why do reporters continue to ask the most embarrassing, most inappropriate, most offensive, most difficult questions to Trump in the most difficult of circumstances? Why? Why do they want the interpreters for the private meeting between Putin and Trump to be interrogated? It's not politics. It's not that they hate Trump. And it's not even that they want to win the 2020 election. It is far more serious than that. What is the one central reason that fits all of these most vicious attacks, more so than any other president in history? Answer, because they are scared to death. They are scared out of their mind. They know Donald Trump is planning to arrest many of them. And they have a pretty good idea if there is a sealed indictment out there with their name on it. I mean, a person, you would know if you've been guilty of corruption, and you'd certainly know if you've been guilty of sex trafficking or sex crimes, or you would know that, okay? So they have a pretty good idea that it's them and their buddies. They know that Trump is planning this giant arrest, and now the count is up to 106, 502,000. That's over 100,000 people. And when they're arrested, it may take as little as 24 hours, probably more like 5 to 7 days to round them all up. But when they're rounded up, they're not going to be put into federal trials. They're going to be put into military tribunals where justice can be served up quickly and efficiently. One person said that it could be possible to try all of them in 2 months. Now, remember that. Let's stretch it out to even 4 months. So try to imagine 106,000 bad guys that are U.S. congressmen, that are maybe military generals, celebrities, many of them very popular, very well and beloved people, but unbeknownst to the public, they are really bad and dirty dudes. And some of them, yes, ladies too. Now let's go to the background on the arrests, and then I'm going to bring you some startling information. In November 2017, here's the background. A man by the name of John Huber was hired to investigate sex trafficking and corruption in America. He hired 470, quote, dogged investigators. They began filing sealed indictments, normally about 5,000 a month. Now, normally the United States has anywhere from 150 to 350 sealed indictments all across the nation at any one time. An indictment is like an arrest warrant, but it's sealed so that the guilty don't know that they're in trouble yet. They don't know that they're about to be arrested. Now, I ran across this whole thing back when there was 4,000 sealed indictments. And the reason I saw that is because of Bible prophecy, and specifically, in this case, one specific prophet being Terry Bennett. He said that back in 2010, the angel Gabriel had visited him and told him what was going to happen, that there would be 3 sets of 7 years, the third set of those 7 years. Now, he didn't say this directly, I want to make that clear, but everything he says this. And he said it would be the tribulation. Now, let me get to specifically the paragraph that got my attention, the reason I was able to spot this. He says, I saw in the governmental arena that we will go through a dramatic change in our government, and there will be a time of anarchy and chaos. For a while, we will have a fractional government, which means basically our government will come down to the state level because the military is stepping in and having to seize control of our federal government. We would call it a coup, but in all honesty, it will be to help our nation. But in all honesty, it will be to help our nation. That is why the military will step in. I believe we're on the verge of these things happening now. Lawlessness, chaos was shown to me in civil unrest. When the checks from our government stop coming to the people, the chaos will ensue. Terry says Gabriel told him that America falls in the year 2021. So I saw this. And when I run across these 4,000 sealed indictments, all of a sudden, and I have to tell you, I believe that this was the hand of God because I remember making that program. And it was made, you can still see it, it's on YouTube now, January 23 of 2018. The radio program is called Are 44,000 Marines About to Arrest 10,000 U.S. Leaders? January 23, 2018, are 4,000 Marines about to arrest 10,000 U.S. leaders. It went viral with now, last time I checked, was 217,000 views. Well, that I think, I can't prove this, but I think I may have been the first civilian or the first person outside of the inner circle to see this. And I didn't see this because somebody slipped me an envelope under the door or somebody from an alphabet agency gave me inside information. I saw this simply by the hand of God. I saw what the prophecies said, and I saw the 4,000 sealed indictments and a few other things. Again, it's all in the radio program. It didn't come from any inside information, meaning I saw it because I knew Bible prophecy. Just like you folks listening, because you know Bible prophecy, because you listen to the modern prophets, you can see things coming that others do not see. Now let's jump to the next thing. I'm about to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. This is so powerful. Okay, this one comes from Benjamin Fulford, dated July 22, 2019. Now, Benjamin is not a Christian. He doesn't even live in America. He lives in Japan. But I like quoting him because he's not a Christian. Now, normally I won't quote people that are not Christians. And in all of the, 130 guest speakers we had over 25 years, all of them, first requirement, they had to be a Christian. But in this case, he has inside information that confirms the Bible prophecy, that confirms what the prophets say, you see. That's the reason I bring it up. So here it is. The heading of this particular article says, Nuremberg 2.0. Hang on. Now, you remember after World War II, and they arrested all of those people for war crimes, they put them on what is called the Nuremberg trials. So when he says Nuremberg 2, he's saying that there's going to be a large number of people put on trial, a public trial. This is really important. Let's go on. Nuremberg 2.0 hearings to be broadcast live on the internet. Yes, I said that right. I'll read it again. Nuremberg 2.0 hearings to be broadcast live on the internet. Okay, this can be amazing. Let's go on. He says the cleanup of the Khazarian Satanist infection, that's the international bankers, of the U.S. body politic took a dramatic new turn last week when the U.S. House of Representatives voted to broadcast live the tribunals taking place now in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and elsewhere. Okay. Hang. What does that mean? See, because ever since Trump got elected, they have been spending millions of dollars upgrading Guantanamo Bay, Diego Garcia, and the Atoll prison islands. Why? Because they've been planning, I believe, before Trump was even discussing about possibly running for president. I think they had this plan from probably about 10 years back. Now, I don't know that Trump was part of it that far back. I think that they recruited Trump, but that's a topic for another day. The point is, so they got these prison islands where they can hold these 100,000 bad guys. These people like Bill and Hillary Clinton, probably going to be part of it. I don't know that for sure, but probably. So anyway, so they All of a sudden, they arrest these people and they fly them off in the night to a prison island. Now, what this is saying is that you're going to be able to watch these trials on the internet live. That's what it's saying here. Hang on, it gets better. Pentagon sources described these hearings as Nuremberg 2 and said that the U.S. Department of Defense is installing cameras at various bases. See, it said various bases, and not just one. Various bases to broadcast the ongoing military tribunals. The tribunals have started opening the over 110,000 sealed indictments from across the U.S., they say. Did you get that? In other words, it's saying the arrests of 110,000 U.S. leaders has begun. I'll read it again. The tribunals have started opening the over 110,000 sealed indictments from across the U.S., they say. We are now finding that Jeff Epstein, the Mossad pedophile blackmailer, was both a member of the Committee on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission. Okay, those are both some really, really bad organizations, part of the people that try to rule the world. These organizations were created by the Rockefeller family, and it looks like Epstein was their servant. Quote, the Zionists are panicking because the Jewish, now hang on, remember Jewish, remember there are people that say they're Jews, but they're not Jews, but they do lie, but they are the synagogue of Satan. So these are some of the international bankers that are trying to destroy this world. Let's go on. The Zionists are panicking because the Jewish federal prosecutor for the Southern District of New York, Geoffrey Berman, and the Jewish federal judge, Richard Berman, doesn't know if they're related, appointed by Bill Clinton, did not recuse, but denied a $100 million bail to Mossad's Epstein, the Pentagon sources say. Prosecutor Berman agreed in November 2018 to present a petition to the Lawyers Committee, now listen to this, for 9/11 to a grand jury. He says this comes from Wikipedia. The petition outlines certain 9/11 related federal crimes committed within the Southern District of New York, including the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center Building 7, World Trade Center Building 7 collapsed on 9/11 due to the detonation of pre-planted explosives and or incendiaries. We've talked about that before, so I'll move on. Now, the point is here so far, he's saying that this Khazarian Satanist infection, this international bankers, these corrupt people doing not only corruption but also sex trafficking, he's saying that the tribunals and the roundup and the opening of the sealed indictments has, past tense, has begun. Now, as further confirmation of this, and I've got two more confirmations. Headline, House passes Schiff Amendment to broadcast Guantanamo Bay proceedings. This is an amendment would increase transparency of Guantanamo Bay Military Commission, Washington, D.C. Today, Representative Adam Schiff. Now, hang on. This is what Hannity says is probably the biggest liar in Congress. And while I don't know for certain, probably sounds pretty close to true. So why would Adam Schiff want to see the Guantanamo Bay proceedings about all of his buddies being arrested? And also, perhaps his name is on the list. Why would he want that? Hang on. Let's see if we can get the answer. Announced that the House of Representatives passed his amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, specifically authorizing military commission judges at Guantanamo Bay to order proceedings to be broadcast via the Internet. Currently, military commission proceedings, including high-profile cases against individuals involved in planning the 9/11 attacks, can only be viewed by traveling to Guantanamo Bay or at highly limited closed-circuit television sites on military bases. He goes on to say, quote, the military commissions at Guantanamo have been out of sight and therefore out of mind far too long, said Adam Schiff. As Guantanamo Bay nears its third decade, with trials still years away, it is all the more important that victims' families, the media, and the public are able to follow the trials before the military commissions. Okay, hang on. So why does Adam Schiff one of the far left, one of the most corrupt people, according to Sean Hannity, why would he want everyone to see these trials? See, I would have thought that they would prefer to keep all of this smut and all of this filth out of people's eyeballs and out of the newspapers. But no, he wants these trials to be broadcast. Well, why? Because I think that they have a plan to use this to stir up trouble, as in like an internal revolution. And I think this is probably what is going to start it. We've thought maybe a lot of things might be the start of it. We've been watching for a long time. Now, as further confirmation of this, let me jump to the final article. Headline: Army lets slip that is conducting secret operations around Washington, D.C. And this is dated July 22nd. The Pentagon has revealed details about a secret Army mission that has Black Hawk helicopters flying missions over the Washington, D.C. area, backed by active duty and reserve soldiers. Did you get that? Black Hawk helicopters flying secret missions over Washington, D.C. using active duty and reserve soldiers. What's going on? It goes on to say the Army asked Congress for approval to shift funds to provide an extra $1.55 million for, yes, aircraft maintenance, air crews, travel in support of, here it is, quote, emerging classified flight missions. What are they doing? What are they doing? Okay, so why would the Army be flying Black Hawk helicopters in secret? They said it, I didn't say that. In secret, classified flight missions. Let's go on. It's part of a $2.5 billion request this month to, quote, reprogram funds in the current fiscal year's budget to programs considered, here it is, high priorities. Without additional funding, the Army will not be able to perform its classified, did you hear that, classified mission, the Defense Department said. Quote, soldiers, listen to this, from Assault Helicopter Company. Did you hear that? Soldiers from Assault Helicopter Company. I'll say it again. Soldiers from Assault Helicopter Company and aviation maintenance units will be supporting the mission with 10 UH-60s and maintenance capabilities for 4 months. Did you catch? Okay, so here's what's happening. They have got 10 UH-60s, these Black Hawk helicopters, flying secret, sensitive missions over Washington, D.C. Let's go on. The money will also be for a specialized, quote, sensitive compartmented information facility at Davidson Army Airfield at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, just outside of Washington, D.C. Army spokesman Wayne Hall declined in an email to comment on such possibilities, including whether the mission involved protecting the White House or other federal buildings, and whether it's making use of specialized, did you hear this, specialized commando units at the Pentagon's Joint Special Operations Command. So they are using JSOC. They are using some bad boys in some big helicopters, not just one or two, 10 of them in special missions over Washington, D.C., taking them out to the Davidson Army Airfield just outside of Washington. And it said it will be for the next 4 months. I didn't write it. Okay, it's what it's saying is, if you try to put two and two together here, this is saying that they are about to start, maybe they have already secretly started, the arrests of 110,000 U.S. leaders all across America. Can you put two and two together? Can you see that? There's one more sentence here. Let's read it. Hall said the operation began early in the fiscal year, which started October 1, and, quote, the duration of the mission is undetermined. Now, earlier they said they're planning this for 4 months, but then they say it's undetermined how long it's going to last. And they didn't tell us what it's for. It's a secret mission, but they're using soldiers from, quote, Assault Helicopter Company. Aviation maintenance units will be supported. So what are they doing? They've got 10 Black Hawk helicopters flying secret missions over Washington, D.C., and it is connected to the Davidson Army Airfield at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, just outside of Washington. You can put it together. Okay, so apparently, if you put two and two together here, apparently they are in the process of either practicing for the roundup or already starting the roundup of 110,000 people. Now, I don't think it's just coming from Washington, D.C., because as I look through these sealed indictments, man, they're in all 50 states. They're even in Hawaii. They're in Alaska. They're all over. But as you can imagine, probably the lion's share of them is probably coming out of Washington, D.C., because those are going to be the head of the snake. Probably. I say probably because I'm just a pastor. I'm just a prophecy teacher. I don't have any inside connections. I've never got an envelope under the door. I've never got anyone from any alphabet agency contacting me, giving me any kind of inside information. All of this comes from the Holy Spirit, from Bible prophecy, and from the modern prophets, and then simply keeping my eyes and ears open. And just like me, you likewise, when you understand Bible prophecy, when you know what the prophets are saying, you can begin to see things inside of the news that most people can't see. And I want to conclude with this. This was sent to me in an email, which, by the way, my email is ask, Stan, S-T-A-N, askstan@prophecyclub.com. No one filters those emails, and so it would be nice if you'd be kind when you write. But I love to hear from you, especially if you have some kind words about my book, and also if you have some information for the radio. Okay, so here it is. How to Create a Socialist State by Saul Alinsky. Now, Saul Alinsky is, you might say, Obama's hero. He says there are 8 levels of control that must be obtained before you're able to create a socialist state. The first is the most important. Healthcare. Control healthcare and you control the people. 2. Poverty. Increase the poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control and will not fight back if you are providing everything for them to live. This is the reason why, by the way, why the communists don't want to have wealthy people in a nation. So they always talk bad about the wealthy people, like all of the wealthy people. You don't want to have any wealthy people. You want to take all that wealth away from you. You want to make all of the wealthy people pay all of the taxes, all of the bills, blame it all on them. That is classic communism. 3, debt. Increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way you're able to increase taxes, and this will produce more poverty. Did you know that Obama increased the debt more than all other previous presidents? Communists. 4, gun control. Remove people's ability to defend themselves from the government. That way you're able to create a police state. So in my opinion, anything that the government has, the people should have also, and it needs to be big enough and powerful enough to stop the government if that's what they have to do. In other words, in my opinion, we were not given the right to keep and bear arms so that we could go deer hunting or dove hunting. No, we were given them to keep the tyranny, the evil people in high places in the government that would use military to come after us, meaning if the government got it, we should be able to have it too. Up to a certain degree. I understand that there's certain things they can't release. Welfare. Take control of every aspect of their lives, food, housing, and income. Education. Take control of what people read and listen to. Take control of what children learn in school. Think. Common Core. Religion. Remove the belief in God from the government and schools. Class warfare. This is the last one. Divide the people into the wealthy and the poor. And I will also say into the black and the white. This will cause more discontent, and it will be easier to take or tax the wealthy with the support of the poor. So how have we done towards those 8 things? I would say we are well down the road on just about every one of them, meaning that America is just about a socialist nation, and socialism is just one step from communism. Matter of fact, the difference between socialism and communism, socialism wants to take over the nation slowly by the passage of laws and fighting on a day-to-day basis, basically Democrats against Republicans. Communism wants to attack the nation militaristically and defeat and destroy the nation militarily and then set up a communist government. But the end of both is the same. One is by military, one is by passing of laws. They're both bad, in my opinion. Communism is the greatest threat that our nation faces, and people like AOC and the Squad are at the top of the list. They are the worst. I'm going to change the end of the broadcast because I have a request. If you like Prophecy Club, if it is one of your ministries that you support, if you feel like we're doing the right thing, then would you consider sending us a donation? It's summertime, and man, our donations have dropped just down to almost nothing. So if you could help us right now, it would really be appreciated. prophecyclub.com. The summer blowout is now in effect. This amazing offer is only offered for a brief time each summer. Right now, you can get 50 DVDs for a gift of $250. That's $5 each. 25 for $160, $640 each. 15 for $120, $8 each. 10 for $100, $10 each. 6 for $70, $11.60 each. 4 for $50, $12.50 each. Or 2 for $30, obviously $15 each. A single DVD is a gift of $30. See the selection of over 230 DVDs at prophecyclub.com bookstore, or download our catalog. Note your selections, but you have to call our office 785-266-1112 to place your order. You have to call 785-266-1112, and this is probably going to be the last summer we make this offer. prophecyclub.com, 785-266-1112. prophecyclub.com, 785-266-1112. 785-266-1112. Back in 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I got about 30 revelations and 2 visions. God showed me the word first fruits is actually a secret door linking the feast of Leviticus to the prophecies of Revelation, allowing the end-time events to be placed in chronological order as never before. One prophetic word said it this way: there is a lock that I have put over a word in the book of Revelation that I'm going to open unto you. It will turn many books written on the end time into obsolete books. That's this book. In this book, for the first time, you will understand that on first fruits, Jesus, the Lamb, returns to Mount Zion with 144,000 one-year-old Jews. On Pentecost, the wheat who are ready go to the marriage supper of the Lamb with the barley. The Father promotes Jesus at the marriage supper from Lamb to Lion, from Prince to King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Jesus receives many crowns, a vesture dipped in his own sacrificed blood, and a white horse. The barley and wheat receive a wedding garment and a white horse to return on trumpets about 4 months later. This is the day of the Lord. Jesus, the judge, uses the morning star, lightning sword to burn the tares. This is the judgment seat of Christ. All in Jesus report here and receive their just rewards. On atonement, Jesus is the judge at the great white throne. For those not in Jesus, the dead are judged based upon their works written in the books. Whosoever was not found written in the book is cast into the lake of fire, which is the second death. On Tabernacles, the New Jerusalem comes down from God out of heaven, all explained in the secret door to understand Bible prophecy. 1 for 20, don't do that. 5 for 30, 10 for 55, or a case of 60 for $250 at prophecyclub.com. 1 for 20, 5 for 30, 10 for 55, prophecyclub.com. Gives you extras to give away to your friends. At watchprophecyclub.com, you can have instant access to over 200 titles on a recurring monthly subscription of $20 or yearly for $200 at watchprophecyclub.com. That's $6,000 worth of information at watchprophecyclub.com. That's watchprophecyclub.com. What a deal.